Hello, this is a little impromptu discussion video for the Animal Crossing New Horizons Direct. This happened yesterday, and I've been thinking about it a bunch, kind of collecting my feelings on it, and I would like to, real quick, just kind of do a very light video on it. So this was yesterday morning, and since then, I've thought quite a bit about it. Kind of going over everything, and obviously we don't have the update yet, so I can't form like full thoughts on how I feel about this update, but based on what we've seen, uh, I'm a little mixed on it, honestly. Uh, I'm not super satisfied, especially with how it ended. As we all know, this is going to be the last major content update to the game. Uh, IGN ended up contacting Nintendo about this, and not only is it the last major free update, it is the last major update, period. And after finding that out and going back and looking at this update, it's not the same vibe I got from like when Smash Ultimate ended, or even like Smash 4 ended, where it's like, yeah, okay, those were already very complete experiences when they launched, and they have just given us so much uh, over the years, and especially with Smash Ultimate concluding with such a roaring finale with adding Sora to the game. You know, a character that many people figured would never happen because of the copyright issues. So to end on that note, that was like, it was like, yeah, I'm cool. Obviously, I'm still gonna talk about Smash Bros. And like what characters would be cool in the game, but like, I am satisfied with the knowledge that knowing Smash Ultimate is complete, and it will probably never get like additional content ever, even in like a future release, potentially. But this was not that same kind of vibe. I got actually a very similar feeling from when Mario Maker ended, when they put out that new update where it's like, oh, finally, they're finally doing something with this game. They're finally adding like a big update to the game, and then at the end it's like, oh yeah, by the way, this is the last one. Okay, a very similar vibe from this. It's like, if you've seen the PowerPoint for like the developer PowerPoint for this game, you'll know that updates were a major part of this game's like plan. Like it was very much designed to uh, create more interest over time as they kept updating the game. So how did the updates go? Not great. I'm gonna say they did not potentially go as well as planned. I don't know if maybe they had even bigger plans for this, and the pandemic kind of made them go back on some decisions. But yeah, like the first year, I would say the first two big updates were kind of the only big updates when they added, Leaf and Red and all that stuff, like the museum second store and stuff. And then the second update where they had swimming and all those new sea things you could do. Those were great updates, but then everything else was just like, here's fireworks. Okay, that's a holiday. That's something you can only do then. And the next update's like, alright, now we got Halloween. And I guess they also added the Dream Suite. I guess that was the last big update. I think that was also the fireworks. So that was good. But then, it was just Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then Festival, which was probably the weakest update up to that point. The updates just got weaker and weaker over time. And then they just kind of stopped. After Festival, there was no like major update to the game. So to say, like, this is the last one, it's like, how many were there? Not really, many. And it doesn't give off the vibe that this is maybe how they wanted it to go out. Because, like, looking at this direct also, it is weird. It has a weird vibe to it, even when we were first watching it, it was very weird. Especially when they were showing the campsite and all of the NPCs that were coming back. You know, it's like, one thing that this game did that I know a lot of people weren't a fan of was gave the player a lot of power over their experience. So instead of needing to go to places to get things, you yourself could make things happen due to like your sheer will. So if like I wanted furniture, I could just go out and make it. If I wanted a haircut, I could do it myself. If I wanted to go to the dream suite, I just go to sleep and like lay in my bed. And what else was there? Those other stuff. The customization. We didn't need Reese and Cyrus because we could customize things ourselves. And so, like going back to the campsite thing, it almost seemed like they were just giving in to the people that wanted to see these characters again. And I guess in the sense that, like, I know a lot of people that when this game was, like, being talked about a lot, they didn't really like how our character had so much power. And so this is kind of like a weird meeting in the middle, where it's like, okay, Harriet's back, and she does give you haircuts, but then she also kind of teaches you them. And Reese and Cyrus are back, and they can customize the for sale furniture. It's like the furniture that you get from Nooks and stuff, or I forget what else. But he can customize that stuff, you can't. And that just feels really weird. Like, why is that a thing? Why can't we... I made a space shuttle with my bare hands. Why can't I paint a lighthouse by myself? Why do I need to go to Reese and Cyrus? And I think I really think they did that. Instead of giving you the power, they gave it to Reese and Cyrus. I really think they did that because of how much people complained as to how much power we had. But it feels weird. It feels icky. You know, it doesn't feel very elegantly designed. And like, I'm happy Reese and Cyrus are back as like a major NPC that we could go visit, but I think maybe they should have given them something new to do. Like when we saw Harriet in her new outfit, I was like, oh, they're gonna maybe give her a new role in the game. It's like, no, she still does haircuts. It's like, alright, but like, I can do haircuts. I can do it myself. Why do I need Harriet to teach me how to do a haircut? And so that's one thing that's really weird. And then there's also stuff that was like... stuff we've seen in the games before. Like the Roost, it is a little bit better. Like the fact that you can call people and like sit down at the tables and have discussions with them. That's cool. That's cute. That'll be like something you do once for your favorite characters and probably never again. Unless they have like a ton of discussion dialogue, I don't know. There's potentially stuff about that we don't know. At one point you can see Brewster filling up a cup of to-go coffee, which was something I enjoyed a lot in New Leaf, was getting my coffee to go and sipping it throughout the day. So hopefully that's back. Maybe the job is back. You know, at the end of the Direct, they do say that there are ways that you can interact with this stuff, some of which we have not shown. So I'm hoping that's for that. And also many other things, like the villager updates. They announced that villagers can invite you to their house, and also they can come to yours, which is cool, but that's also something that they could have done for like the entire series. Like, this is not a new thing, this is a very expected thing that should have been in the game at launch, and there's a lot of that in this. Like even shimmying through tight spaces. That was added in Happy Home Designer and then later in the Welcome Amiibo update for New Leaf. And so, to have waited a year and a half and they promote it like it's this big new feature, weird. Definitely weird. And you know, we got the morning aerobics back. That's great. It looks even better than it did before. The fact that you can do it either with button controls or with motion controls, that's great. You could actually physically do the morning aerobics with your villagers, and I think that's pretty... That's just fun. It's just fun. maybe a little weird that it's like you can set it up yourself. Again, giving a lot of power to the player here instead of having it just happen and you can join in. That's probably better if like that's something part of your schedule. Like if that is how you get your morning aerobics in, giving you the power to activate it is definitely a good thing. And look at these gyroids. I'm showing the gyroids on the screen right now. This was like the best part for me, just because like this felt worth the wait in a way that not many of the other things did. Because they just like, I like gyroids in previous games, but these I'm just so much more excited to collect. Just like how they were scaled down, you can put them on a counter or a table or on the wall even. You can customize them, and they just looked like way more unique than they did before. They animated a lot more interestingly. The way they animated previously is they would just kind of like broing, they would broing, and they would just kind of shake or twitch. But now it seems like they have like a lot more unique animations, which is really cool. So that was like the one really net positive from this that felt, it was obviously something that everyone really wanted, but they didn't like just like make it the old games. You know, a lot of the stuff that they added in this game post-launch is just like, alright, here's the stuff you could do in New Leaf, you can finally do it in this game now. And it's the exact same as it was before. You know, swimming, the exact same as it was in New Leaf, and everything was kind of like that. But the gyroids feel fresh. They feel like something that we have never really collected in the game before. Even though they are still gyroids, they have this new vibe to them, which I really appreciate. And yeah, it's just like overall, it's very similar to the Mario Maker thing. It's where it's like, we're just now getting the ball rolling, we're just now getting stuff that we should have gotten for a long time. And then it's just over, you know? Like, again, with the updates being such a big part of this game's design from the very beginning, why are we done already? You know, Smash went for 3 years. And this game, which has one of the biggest player bases on the Switch, this is the second biggest player base on the Switch, you could have gone in on it. You could have really gone in on it with like both free updates and also paid expansions, as we've seen here with the Happy Home Paradise. This could have been a game that could have been updated for 3 years as well, and they just don't want to do it. I mean, I'm not sure why. Maybe they have completely moved on to Splatoon 3 at this point, and they just want to move on from it. But it's still so weird. Why would you just give up on this game after such a short amount of time? Especially since we went basically an entire year with no updates. To just end like this, it feels like a thunk. It doesn't feel like that roaring finale that we got with Smash Brothers. It just feels like, that was cool, but also now it's over. And obviously, we don't know. We don't know exactly how it's gonna feel when we play it. You know, maybe this update comes out and villager dialogue is fixed. You know, who knows? Maybe there's a ton of new errands they ask you to do, maybe they feel a lot more fleshed out, maybe the multiplayer has been enhanced in some way, maybe it does it a lot faster, maybe you can bulk craft it but they didn't want to like tell us. I don't know, maybe. Previous Animal Crossing updates have had like hidden features that they didn't talk about in the trailer, so maybe if they wanted to they could throw in some few like quality of life things that would have been cool. So like who knows, maybe when this update comes out it does feel finished. It does feel like the complete game that we wanted all along. But it doesn't feel like that right now, which is concerning. And then of course we get the Happy Home Paradise, which we're looking at right now. This is basically, hold on a sec. This is basically a sequel to Happy Home Designer on the 3DS, which is great. I know a lot of people that really loved Happy Home Designer, and integrating it into the game that we have, like integrating it into New Horizons, is such a better move than just making it like a new spin-off game. And like it's New Horizons visuals, so it's gonna look even better. It's gonna be so much fun to see what people do with this. I'm very excited for when this comes out. Just like browsing Twitter and seeing what people have made. And I'll probably try it too. I haven't really enjoyed decorating in previous Animal Crossing games, but in this one I find it very enjoyable just because of how good the game looks. Like, even designs that would be stinky in other games look incredible in this game just because of how polished the visuals are. And just how polished, like, pretty and high definition and all the textures and the lighting, it looks amazing. It's like anything looks good in this game. And that means it's very exciting to, like, decorate as someone who is not great at decorating, because no matter what I make, I'll probably be happy with it because it'll look great. So that's cool. I'll probably play this quite a bit, the Happy Home Paradise part. But also, again, I'm not huge on decorating, and I would have maybe preferred an expansion that was maybe something a little new. Again, this is just Happy Home Designer 2. And it looks kind of updated, but also not really. It's like we're paying for something that we've kind of done already. And it doesn't look too much better in terms of, like, core features. Like, even, like, the soundscapes and stuff that I thought were brand new, apparently were also in Happy Home Designer, so that's not great to learn about. But still, it looks fine. I'll probably get a lot of enjoyment out of it. But in the end, maybe I would have preferred just some more life sim elements to the game. You know, going back even to the free update, we get coffee, morning aerobics, and everything else is kind of about decorating and collecting, which is personally not my favorite part of the game. You know, my favorite part of the game is, you know, logging on and being treated to a host of random events, mostly sparked by villagers. You know? Villagers do not really create emerging gameplay as well as they used to in previous games. And I think that was something that they maybe should have worked on a bit more. Maybe even creating a whole new area to where stuff like that happens more often. Or minigames. Where are the minigames? I was like, between Brewster, improved villagers, and minigames, those were like the big three I saw all the time. And I'm surprised I have not seen basically anyone bring it up after this direct. Most people seem pretty happy with this, which is somewhat surprising to me, considering how pissed people were previously. Like, before this direct happened, people were furious. Like, every time Animal Crossing tweeted, people were mad. And so I guess to see people being happy with this, which I find somewhat underwhelming, it is somewhat weird. I've seen people even say, like, I don't want to see anybody complaining anymore. I would like to keep complaining. I don't know. I don't think we really got a super full experience here. And, like, I like New Horizons. I think I'm more positive on the game than most people. But even still, I will not deny that this game was somewhat light on the Animal Crossing vibe in terms of, like, content and just, like, how you interacted with the game and villagers and stuff like that. It was not quite as good as previous installments. Even, like City Folk and New Leaf, which had significantly downgraded villagers, even those were leagues above what we got in New Horizons, which is disappointing for sure. I'm taking that a sip. So yeah, I'm mixed on this being the ending, because I think it could have been, oh, it could have been so good. This could have been such an amazing game that, like, I would think about forever, like New Leaf. And I don't think it's quite there. Again, I keep coming back to this. Maybe once this update lands, I will change my tone, and I will love it, and I will love this game. But it is tough to say right now, for sure. And of course we got, like, Amiibo. There's a bunch of new Amiibo stuff you can get. That's great. That's very cool. And, like, because this game is somewhat light compared to previous games, a lot of the issues I have with this series as a whole have come even more to the forefront, like, the general lack of interactivity with furniture, which, to be fair, New Horizons has attempted to address in many ways. Like, beds having a use, mirrors having a use, benches, and, like ovens having a use now with cooking. That's great. But even still, it's just like, why are there arcade games but I can't do like a very simple minigame with them? Why does the dartboard just play a dartboard animation instead of letting me play like a very simple minigame where I throw darts? That would have been cool, and it would also make the multiplayer way better because you would have things to do with your friends online, which you still don't really have. I mean, you could go get coffee together. You could go do morning aerobics together. That's pretty cool. But not really though. Really though. This is cool though. You can remodel your residence homes. I was really hoping that when they did this, which I feel like they would, I feel like this was something that was coming. I really wish that they made it work within the world. And they did. It's like, hey, if you were like popping off in the Happy Home Paradise, your villagers would be like, yeah, I'm down. I'm down to have a professional home designer design my home. That's cool. Because I know over time, even the most careful person will probably end up with villagers that just destroy their houses. And so being able to go in and tinker with villagers' houses is maybe a bit too much control for the player, but like the other option is to have a villager with a really awful house, which doesn't make much sense. Like, God, I gave Tammy so many beds and she would just not put the bed down in her room. I don't get it. So, I guess that's my overall thoughts on this. Generally mixed, but I am still looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing the game more. I'm looking forward to collecting gyroids and doing some coffee shenanigans and like talking to villagers at the roost. And, you know, I'll try and get people online to come over and do stuff. We'll try and figure out some way to make these new features work and like make multiplayer a bit more fun, but you know, overall not as grand as I was hoping it would be. Definitely not as grand. Cap'n sucks. Did I even talk about Cap'n? Cap'n sucks in this game. It really is just like, why? Like, we have Mystery Islands already. Why do we need a second NPC that just takes us to more Mystery Islands? Why not just put the new Mystery Islands in the pool of the Dodo Mystery Islands? Like, what is the point of it being separate? And it's a cool feature. Being able to go to seasons that you're not currently in is cool. Like, if like you really need mushrooms or really need snowflakes or stuff like that, or like summer shells, and you don't want to time travel because you hate time traveling like me, that's a cool feature. But I don't know why it had to be with Cap'n. I don't know why Cap'n couldn't have taken us to someplace actually cool. Like a minigame island, maybe? I don't know. Mystery Islands is like one of the lamest additions in this game for sure. And they hyped it up so much. I remember back even during the initial direct, they're like, we think this is gonna be really popular. It's like, yeah, I guess it kinda is with villager hunting, but that's not really why I think maybe they thought it would be. Oh, and villager hunting sucks. That is such a bad thing. How long it takes to find the villager you wanted. That is so bad. I mean, I guess like they made it grindy for a reason. Like they don't want you to just have the villager you want. So they make it like a whole ordeal, but still. Why? Why? Why'd you do that? Is that everything? Have I talked about everything? There's ladders now you can put on cliffs. That's cool. I actually really like that. Again, these Cap'n Boat tours suck. Very disappointed. There's still a lot of characters that haven't come back. I don't mind it really that much. You know, not every single Animal Crossing NPC needs to come over from previous games. And again, with this game's focus on player power, it wouldn't even really make sense to have all these NPCs that do a bunch of different stuff, because that would kind of detract. But they still kind of did it anyway with Harv's Island, so what do I know? Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say. I guess we just gotta wait until November 5th. Hopefully it's great. Hopefully it revitalizes the game for a lot of people, but I am kind of expecting that once people have their fill, they will rightfully still be like, this game's still kind of lacking. I didn't talk about cooking either, really. I just kind of mentioned it. Cooking is cool, but it kind of doesn't have a point. Obviously, it's to make new meals. It's to make meal furniture, like food items, to put, like, display around. That's kind of neat. I did like the food items from, like, New Leaf and stuff, so it's cool to have, like, food items back. But it would have been even cooler if, like, how cool would it have been if Brewster had a job for you, and he asked you to, like, make certain meals, and you could get, like, Brewster points or something, and he would give you, like, special gyroids. That would have been crazy. Or, like, villagers would ask you, be like, hey, I heard you're really good at cooking, can you make me this specific meal? And then over the course of the next week, you could build up your farm to make that meal, or just something other than having it display. Oh! And that's kind of a core problem with this game to begin with, is, like, once you have items, this game's, like, in particular, once you have fleshed out your catalog and made the island the way you want it to be, there is kind of not a lot left for you, which sucks. And I feel like it wasn't that way before. I don't think it was that way before. It kind of was with the catalog in the museum, but even still, there was, like, the villagers brought more to the table in terms of every day you would log in and they would need new stuff, there'd be stuff to do, they would ask you to do things to the environment. Like, I remember in the short amount of time I played the GameCube game in the lead up to New Horizons release, I had a villager say, like, hey, can you plant flowers around my house? And it's like, it's such a tiny thing. It's such a tiny thing, but the fact that a villager is asking you to change the look of the town feels so huge to me, because, I don't know, it's nice the villagers have an opinion, and they kind of don't in this game, and also you don't. There's so many dialogue options, or dialogue things in this game where, like, it seems like it would prompt you to respond in a way, but it just doesn't. I remember there's a dialogue in this game where a villager will ask you what you think about their outfit, and you would think that at that point it would bring up a couple of options where you could say, like, oh, I think it looks good, I think it's cute, I think it smells. That doesn't happen, and the thing is, that happens in New Leaf. There's a New Leaf dialogue option where it's like, hey, what do you think of my outfit? And you can tell them. Why is that not in this game? Oh, I don't understand. Okay, this is getting rambly. This update is fine. It's fine. It's not exactly fine for a final update, but it's fine as an update. You know, if this wasn't the final update, I wouldn't be here complaining about it. Because it is a very good update. It's just not... It doesn't complete the game in the way I think it should. At least this is me. This is me. You know, who knows? Maybe there's a bunch of villager updates we don't know about. Maybe we can finally tell them that their outfit looks kind of cringe and stupid. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be good. Alright, I'm done here. Have a good one.